everyone, welcome back to the homestead. It is I, Jen Belogura. I hope you guys are doing well. And here I like to do Antimlm and some other things that like to piss me off once in a while. Please like and subscribe. That would really help the channel out. I am trying to hit 1,000, not because of monetization, but because when you hit 1,000, there are other things that you unlock as well, like the YouTube community tab. And I would really like to make posts updating instead of being like, hey, follow me on my Instagram so you can follow me and do the updates. Anyways, today is actually a long time video coming, actually. I've been putting this off like for 2 years since I've started MLM content. And it is the story of my MLM experience. And like a lot of people, I feel guilt and shame, and one of the reasons I've been putting off this video is because of the guilt and the shame, and now there's the guilt and the shame for not doing the video about my guilt and the shame, so it's like double guilt and shame. I'd rather have a double gin and tonic right now instead of double guilt and shame, that's for sure. So yeah. My Mary Kay story, oh my gosh. Oh, I don't even want to do. Oh, I gotta do it though. I've got to. Because, you know, otherwise it's gonna be, like I said, that double shame. Oh, the shame. So, my ex-husband and I recently moved to a town in the southern Okanagan. And I had this lovely idea that I was going to be a wedding planner. Until I realized I hate people. But I digress. So I decided to go to one of those, you know, wedding expos, right? To just learn more about the local industry and everything. And so I decided to do that. And I decided to wear my absolute favorite suit at the time, which was a red suit. And it had this great silk lining and had like red roses in it. It was a beautiful suit. I absolutely loved my suit. And while I was going through there's this lady who is also in a red suit. And she's like, oh my God, you look so Mary Kay. I'm like, okay. And she then proceeded about talking about Mary Kay Cosmetics. Now, this was around 2011. So, like, nobody talked anti-MLM back then. Like, it wasn't even a thing, right? Like, even in 2013, when ICE was like, listen, don't join MLMs, everybody thought I was like nuts. And now they're like, oh shit, I joined an MLM. Crap. Sorry, we should have listened to you. Like, yeah, you should have listened to me, because I already went through that experience. But I've learned that people in MLMs, they have to come to light, just like I did. Anyways, so me and this lady, we'll call her Yvette. You know, like we got really into talking. So I invited her over, you know, to do one of those Mary Kay facials, right? And of course, you know, that's how they start to get you. Like she talks about her eye story, how she started, you know, like she was in insurance. And then because she was at home with her kid, because she had a cesarean, her neighbor gave her a pampering session. And then she decided to join as a Mary Kay consultant. And she's been doing very well ever since. She, like, at that time, she'd been doing it for 8 years. Like, she was 38 at the time. I thought she was 28 because she had really good skin. And, you know, that's what she did. She decided to become a Mary Kay consultant. And that's what all she did. And it seemed so cool being, you know, in makeup. And at that time, like, I wanted to do makeup YouTubing because it was still fairly fresh. It wasn't oversaturated. But in the clauses at the time, you were not allowed to use Mary Kay and do, like, Mary Kay YouTube stuff. Which really sucks because now there's, like, tons of it. Because they're like, oh, we realize that this is, you know, a market. So, yeah, I signed up. Like, not even thinking about it. I didn't even know what an income disclosure was. I don't even know if they had them back then. So I signed up. And then I get on a call with our director, and it was a three-way call with director and Yvette. And Yvette and the director then pressured me to make an order of $600. Now, what I didn't know at the time was if Yvette's new downline ordered $600 in their first month, Yvette would get a $100 commission check. So when I actually read through the Mary Kay, how to make money, and I found that, I felt very duped. And honestly, it kind of severed a little bit of the relationship and trust between me and Yvette, because I'm like, you couldn't have just, told me this straight up. I've had to been pressured by you and our national sales director to do this. That seems a little sketch, but okay. And we'd always go to these Mary Kay meetings every Monday night, and we'd carpool together. And she had a nice car, and then because we were driving, I'd learn more about her life because we chat, right? You chit chat. And then I find out her husband happens to be a VP in a mining company, and obviously he's bringing home pretty good money. So here, and I got to visit her a few times at her house. She basically plays, business lady, while her husband's actually the one making all of the money while she gets to sit in this lovely McMansion on the top of the hill. And of course, she was always the one saying, oh, you've got to attend this meeting, you've got to attend that meeting. And of course, it's $5 here, $5 there, $30 here. And I'm like, listen, I can't, because I still haven't sold the $600 worth of inventory I already bought. And then I remembered I was getting so excited for college, and our director was in a completely separate area. So what is very common in Mary Kay is to have adoptive directors. So I was really excited about, going to college, getting accepted into college. By the way, I never went to college, which kind of sucked. Oh, I did attend beauty school though. But anyways, this 60-year-old woman, I cannot believe it, even to this day and age. This 60-year-old woman, we'll call her Georgette, said that I should take the 10 grand of my tuition and put it in Mary Kay, because Mary Kay was basically as good as getting a business degree. Let that sink in for a little bit. I am 19 years old. Okay? This woman is 65. She is telling me to take $10,000 that's supposed to go to my college tuition for business school and put it into Mary Kay, because it is just as good as getting a business degree. Because they teach dual level marketing in Harvard. That's what they like to say that they do. They do dual level marketing. It's not dual level marketing. I've got no idea what dual level marketing is, because there isn't 2 levels. There is multiple levels in Mary Kay. So this dual level system. And then I've always kept saying, the only way to actually rank up is if you have a team in my, upline. She's like, oh, no. And I'm like, have you actually read this? I'm like, there is no way to rank up unless you have a team. There's no ranking up if you've sold this much. They're the only way to make money is to seem to be recruiting people. And that's just the thing that really sucked. And I was like, well, and then I'm already sitting there, doing the head math. I'm like, okay, Mary Kay's already been in this country for 35 years, because they entered Canada a bit later than obviously the States. And then I'm like, okay, so if we take the population of Canada and do the math, and half the people of, demographic is actually our target audience. And I'm like, shit, it's saturated. And I sat there and I'm like, oh God, I did the math so many times, and then I was the longest time in denial about the math I did. And I'm like, I remember going to Gordon and saying, this is a frickin' pyramid scheme. That's what I told him. I said to him, this is a bloody pyramid scheme. There's no way to rank up, and there's no way, unless I have people sign up. And recruiting was impossible. Try selling, people a lipstick that's $16 and you only paid $8. And you're trying to, justify the cost in your head. Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, yes, it's wholesale, but still, even for me, I thought, the wholesale price was the best price for the quality of the product. I mean, their shadows at the time, I'm not sure if they've improved, were so bad that I would actually pretend my NYX cosmetics that I would use instead were the Mary Kay eyeshadows. That's how shady I was. I know, that's terrible. And it was actually Mary Kay. It ruined my relationship with makeup and beauty for the longest time. I had a sour taste. Now, I left Mary Kay in 2012, and I didn't get back into the beauty thing until about 2017. That is a while. And it wasn't until I finally said, I'm going to makeup artist school to break this curse. And I did. I went to makeup artist school and I broke this curse, and I feel better because I'm like, listen, I've finally said I did what I was going to do. I was going to get my makeup artist certificate. Broke a curse, it felt like. And I felt finally free. I'm not saying that you need to get a makeup artist certificate to feel free, but that felt like the most invigorating thing is I finally got this when they kept saying Mary Kay was going to teach me everything in makeup. Well, Mary Kay didn't give me an actual certificate and gave me actual schooling on how to do things. And I was one of the top in the class, so. But yeah, but it was because of Mary Kay and MLMs in general is when I decided to go into the adult industry as a cam model. I've been doing it. I was doing it for 6 years, then I retired, and now I'm kind of back into it to make a little extra side cash. But it's funny because Yvette didn't have a job at that time when I knew her. And now she's actually divorced from her husband, and she has to take a full-time job. Now, it was funny because I do remember having tea one time with her and doing this, question of, well, is your Mary Kay business going to be able to support you in case of a divorce or your husband dies and something happens, right? And it doesn't seem that Mary Kay business worked out in her favor when I thought, seeing that she, got divorced and everything years later. We don't even talk. I mean, the last time she wanted to set up a coffee date, which I was kind of excited. I wanted to, reconnect. She wanted to sell me Stella and Dot. And I'm like, listen, if this is going to be about a pitch about your newest MLM, I'm not here for it. I wish you the best of luck, but I'm not here for it. Not after being in with you with Mary Kay. I'm not here for it. And the whole Mary Kay thing was so indoctrinating. It's very heavy on the Christianity / Mary Kay Ash. It's like she is the dead cult leader they still worship, and she's mummified somewhere with Christmas lights wrapped around her. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like she's somewhere in that, Mary Kay corporate office there, kind of like a Roy Disney situation. But yeah, and then they always preach, God first, family second, then career. But if you're in Mary Kay, you will find that they will guilt you using your family to push the Mary Kay career, and that you have to do the Mary Kay career. Right? So it winds up flipping from, being family first to Mary Kay first because they use your family as a trigger point, which really sucks. And they also then use, huge amount of faith manipulation to keep you in, which for me didn't work because I've said time and time again, I'm an atheist. So going to places where God is very religion heavy weirds me out. I remember doing a couple of lunch meetings with people in Mary Kay, and we pray before eating. And I'm like, I don't do that. I've never done that in my life. And it feels so incredibly awkward when you are of a different perspective and you get thrown into that without consenting, if anybody understands what I mean. I mean, I've got nothing against religion. I love religion from an outsider's view, like comparative studies. Like, that's what I find really interesting. Honestly, one of my dreams is to be adopted by an Islamic family for Ramadan and like practice everything there, so I understand more of the Ramadan and everything. And I would love to also then be adopted by a Jewish family for some of the Jewish traditions, because I would like to, you know, have firsthand experience. Just, that's the kind of person I am. But that's, again, me doing consent, not, hey, we're having a lunch meeting and then we're praying. And that's just really weird, because I don't, you know, do the whole religion thing. The whole religion thing really weirded me out. So yeah, no, that was pretty much my Mary Kay experience. I then joined Epicure because then I started kind of understanding a bit more how MLMs worked. But then I just didn't really fully went through with Epicure. I signed up with one of the first leaders in Epicure, which I still follow her. She's actually kind of an inspiration of mine. Yes, MLM reps can still be inspirations. Like, you know, aside from MLMs, like, this woman, she is, like, so garden-centric. Like, she's, like, the Highlander of gardeners. Like, if I wanted, like, I would kill Dana to be, like, have her gardening skills. That's how I feel sometimes, like, some sort of garden Highlander. I love. And then, you know, she's so sweet. And she doesn't push anything. She's not, like, the one of those weird reps, if you know what I mean. Like, the really controversial type. Like, and I found that with Epicure reps. Every, you know, MLM's got their own culture. Mary Kay, it is definitely Stepford Wives. They have this thing against pants. Like, women cannot wear pants. You have to wear a dress or a skirt. Those are the only things you're allowed to represent Mary Kay in, which is weird. And then the director's jackets, everyone is wearing the same jackets and everything. And, like, they're older women, too. So, again, like I've told, it's a generational divide. So, like, it felt weird being 19 and then the majority of everybody around you is like 50 plus with a few people in the middle, right? So you get a little weirded out. Like, the next person to my age, and I was like 19 at the time, she was 25, 26, and she had 2 kids. So, you know, we didn't have a lot in common because I didn't even have kids at the time. So, yeah. It just, like, it is a very Stepford Wives, you know, company. I will definitely say Stepford Wives and worshiping the dead lady. Like, God, essentially. Like, they worship, like, I like, listening to some of the meetings that I've done for, like, my YouTube channel, sometimes I feel like you can switch God and Mary Kay and it would make sense in the cult of the pink, which is what I call it. I mean, I think Pink Truth was one of those original anti-MLM pages, and everyone was like scoffing at that stuff back then. You know, oh, you just failed. Oh, I know this person and that. You know, we didn't know the nitty gritty like we do now, 10 years later. And I wish when I was 19, somebody would have said to me, hey, this is what it is. But we didn't have that. We didn't have anti-MLM YouTubers. We didn't have anti-MLM anything until a few years later when people started getting burned from things like It Works and Arbonne and stuff like that. That's when people started to see things for what they were. And then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. But that's my story. If you have any more questions, please feel free to, you know, drop it below. I will answer them. And you know what? Have a great one. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.